In the year 1981, a quiet stretch of farmland in southern Illinois became the epicenter of one of the most baffling archaeological mysteries in American history. Beneath layers of soil and cornfields, radar scans revealed something extraordinary, a perfect geometric formation, eerily resembling a step pyramid. The discovery was made accidentally, during a routine geological survey meant to locate underground aquifers. But what the radar screen showed went far beyond water or bedrock. It showed angles, corridors, and chambers, all too symmetrical to be natural. Within days, word spread among local universities and news outlets. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the entire story vanished, along with every trace of the discovery itself. The man who led the initial scan, Dr. Raymond Keller, was a respected geophysicist working with a small team from the University of Illinois. His findings were recorded, documented, and sent to state archives for analysis. But a week later, when Keller returned to the site, he found it fenced off, guarded by men in unmarked vehicles. Within days, his research logs disappeared from his office. The team's radar data was wiped from university servers. Keller tried to raise the alarm, but colleagues warned him to drop it. He would later describe the entire event as the discovery that was never meant to be found. Before the lockdown, a few local witnesses had seen the survey team working in the area near the small town of Salem, Illinois. They described unusual drilling equipment, long antenna arrays, and a curious square outline marked by flags. When word spread that a pyramid had been found beneath the soil, the excitement drew small crowds: curious farmers, journalists, and amateur historians. But the excitement quickly turned to confusion when the area was declared off-limits. Bulldozers arrived one night, and by morning, the field was stripped, leveled, and reseeded. To most, it seemed like nothing had ever been there at all. To understand why the Illinois pyramid caused such a stir, we must step back, centuries before the first European settlers, to the mysterious mound builders who shaped America's ancient heartland. Across the Mississippi Valley, from Ohio to Missouri, vast earthworks and mounds stretch for miles, many perfectly aligned with celestial events. Archaeologists long debated whether these builders possessed advanced knowledge of geometry, astronomy, and engineering. But if a true pyramid had once stood beneath Illinois soil, it would mean something far greater: that North America's prehistoric civilizations were capable of architectural feats rivaling those of Egypt or Mesoamerica. The radar imagery itself was said to be stunning. Triangular outlines forming a step-like structure, roughly 200 feet high and 300 feet wide at its base. Subsurface cavities hinted at possible inner chambers or burial vaults. But skeptics dismissed it as geological coincidence, a natural formation misread by radar. Yet those who had seen the scans insisted otherwise. Dr. Keller, in a rare interview years later, recalled, "It was no hill. It was built. You could see the precision, the order in its design." His words hinted at a truth buried deeper than soil, a forgotten architecture that once shaped a continent's past. Local native elders from the Kaskaskia and Peoria tribes spoke quietly of the Great Stone Hill, a sacred place long buried beneath the land. They claimed their ancestors knew it as a gateway, a meeting point between earth and sky. When early settlers plowed through those fields in the 1800s, they uncovered strange artifacts: stones carved with spirals and lines, shards of pottery unlike anything found in nearby sites. These relics disappeared into private collections, forgotten until the 1981 radar survey revived the legend. Could the Illinois pyramid have been the Great Stone Hill of native memory, or something older still? Government interest in the site was immediate and intense. Within 48 hours of the scan, representatives from multiple federal agencies arrived, citing environmental protection measures. Yet, curiously, no excavation permits were ever filed, and no official reports were released. Eyewitnesses claim military trucks were seen removing large crates from the area under cover of night. Others described low-flying helicopters hovering over the site with scanning equipment. The narrative quickly shifted, from discovery to denial. Public inquiries were ignored, and soon the Illinois Pyramid was dismissed as an urban legend, erased from academic discussion as if it had never existed. But secrets buried in the earth have a way of resurfacing. Decades later, in 2009, a declassified U.S. Geological Survey memo referenced a triangular subsurface anomaly detected in the Salem region during the early 1980s, precisely the area Dr. Keller had surveyed. The memo described man-made geometric density readings inconsistent with natural formations. Yet the attached images were redacted and coordinates blacked out. For independent researchers, this was confirmation that the pyramid was real and that someone had gone to great lengths to hide it. What was under Illinois soil that the world wasn't supposed to see? As word of the rediscovered memo spread online, the legend of America's lost pyramid gained new life. Amateur historians, drone mappers, and local diggers began combing the region with ground-penetrating radar. Some claimed to find traces of buried walls or platforms. Others reported electromagnetic interference, as if something below was distorting signals. Yet every promising lead was swiftly shut down by new land restrictions or private property designations. What began as a local curiosity was fast becoming a national obsession, a modern mystery wrapped in historical amnesia. The question was no longer if the pyramid existed, but why it was erased. For those who believe in hidden chapters of American history, the Illinois Pyramid stands as a symbol, not of stone, but of silence. Its alleged existence challenges the narrative that civilization in North America began only after European contact. It suggests an ancient intelligence, a people capable of designing with mathematics, engineering, and astronomical precision. Whether it lies beneath fields or was spirited away long ago, the mystery remains. What if America once had a pyramid, and someone made sure we forgot it? As the story unfolds, we journey into the soil, the myths, and the secrecy that still echo beneath Illinois' quiet plains. Beneath the flatlands of Illinois lies a geological story millions of years in the making. Yet something about the Salem formation didn't fit that natural pattern. Core samples taken before the site was sealed reportedly contained fragments of fired clay and cut limestone, materials foreign to the surrounding sediment. Dr. Keller described it as construction material, deliberately arranged. When independent researchers later compared those samples with those from nearby Cahokia mounds, they found chemical similarities, suggesting both might share a common origin. If true, the Illinois Pyramid wasn't an isolated anomaly. It was part of a much larger network of ancient architecture stretching across the Midwest. Cahokia, just 2 hours south of the alleged pyramid site, was once the largest pre-Columbian city north of Mexico. Its massive Monk's Mound towers over the Mississippi floodplain, a silent testament to a lost civilization's engineering mastery. But what if Cahokia wasn't unique? What if it was one of many? The radar evidence from Salem hinted at a level of design unseen in any known mound structure. Straight edges, perfect symmetry, inner chambers. These weren't random mounds of earth. They were deliberate, mathematical. If Cahokia was the capital, could the Illinois Pyramid have been its ceremonial or astronomical twin? By the mid-1980s, whispers of America's pyramid had reached the ears of fringe historians, alternative researchers, and even a few retired military engineers. Some claimed the U.S. government had suppressed the discovery due to its potential to rewrite American prehistory. Others argued that the structure housed something more, an artifact, a vault, or evidence of a forgotten technology. In one obscure radio interview for 1984, Keller himself said, "We found geometry beneath the soil, not randomness. Someone built that shape with purpose." His voice trembled as he added, "And then someone erased it." Local folklore began merging with fact. Residents spoke of lights seen over the fields at night and unmarked trucks driving through country roads after midnight. One farmer reported strange vibrations in the ground following the bulldozing, as if machinery had been operating below. Another claimed to have found a broken tablet of stone inscribed with unknown symbols before officials confiscated it. The more people talked, the more the legend deepened. But legends, like secrets, have a way of being reshaped, molded by fear, faith, and the quiet understanding that something powerful had once been hidden there. The mystery of the pyramid cannot be separated from the mystery of time itself. Radiocarbon tests from nearby mound artifacts suggest construction dating as far back as 3000 BC, contemporary with Egypt's earliest dynasties. Could transoceanic contact have occurred? Or did humanity, separated by oceans, simply evolve toward similar expressions of sacred geometry? To skeptics, such ideas bordered on fantasy. To believers, they hinted at an ancient unity, a shared knowledge encoded in stone and soil. And if America's heartland once held a pyramid, perhaps its builders sought to mirror a cosmic design written in the stars. In 1993, a Freedom of Information Act request filed by an Illinois historian yielded a strange response. The National Archives confirmed that records of the 1981 radar survey existed, but were classified under national security protocols. The phrasing raised questions. How could a geological survey of farmland be a matter of national security? The historian's next request was denied. Within months, her research funding was cut, and her faculty position quietly dissolved. She later remarked, "They don't erase the evidence, they erase the people asking for it." Her story mirrored Dr. Keller's, two voices fading into silence. Satellite imagery from modern databases still shows faint geometric anomalies near Salem, angular discolorations in the fields that persist year after year despite crop rotation. Some believe these shapes mark the edges of the buried pyramid. Digital overlays reveal alignments matching solstices and cardinal directions, just like ancient sites across the globe. It's as if the builders encoded celestial order directly into the land. Yet every time researchers apply for excavation rights, they are met with bureaucratic delays or restricted heritage protection notices. Whatever lies beneath, it remains untouchable, protected not by mystery, but by policy. The most striking theory came from Dr. Martin Levant, a retired engineer who analyzed Keller's surviving notes. He proposed that the Illinois structure wasn't just a pyramid, it was a resonance chamber. According to Levant, its design, proportions, and materials could have amplified natural Earth frequencies, serving as a ceremonial or energetic hub. Though speculative, his theory attracted the attention of physicists intrigued by ancient acoustic engineering. If true, the site may have once been used not for burial, but for transformation, a space where sound, light, and spirit converged in perfect harmony. By the early 2000s, America's Lost Pyramid had become an internet legend. Part archaeology, part conspiracy, part ghost story. Documentaries, podcasts, and amateur films revisited the tale, each adding fragments of speculation. Some portrayed it as a government cover-up, others as evidence of a prehistoric empire wiped from memory. Yet through all the noise, the original discovery, Keller's 1981 radar scans, remained missing. Without them, the story stood at the edge of belief, balanced between truth and myth. But myths, as history has shown, are often the masks of forgotten facts. Today, the fields of Salem stretch endlessly beneath the Illinois sun, quiet, golden, and unassuming. To the casual eye, there is nothing unusual there. But for those who know the story, every line in the soil feels deliberate, every mound a whisper of something greater. Beneath those fields may lie a structure that predates history itself, a monument to a civilization that America forgot. And perhaps, in that silence, the pyramid still waits, buried not just in the earth, but in the memory of a nation that once refused to believe what it saw. If you walk the backroads near Salem at dusk, locals say you can still feel a subtle hum beneath your feet, a vibration that comes and goes with the wind. Farmers who've lived there for generations tell of plows striking impossible stone, buried just inches below the soil. The fragments crumble to dust when exposed to air, as though designed to vanish. In one particularly chilling account, A tractor blade unearthed a black, glass-like slab etched with intersecting triangles. Before researchers could analyze it, the fragment disappeared from the county museum under unknown circumstances. The hum continues, faint yet constant, the pulse of a secret not yet dead. Across America, whispers of similar subterranean patterns began to surface. In Ohio, radar teams detected anomalies shaped like concentric squares. In Kentucky, a farmer uncovered stone alignments oriented to the equinox sunrise. Each finding, small on its own, hinted at a continental blueprint. Could the Illinois Pyramid have been the central node of a forgotten network, a North American grid of sacred geometry? Ancient traditions speak of energy lines crisscrossing the earth, linking temples and pyramids in harmony. If such lines existed here, then Illinois was not random. It was deliberate, placed precisely where Earth's hidden energies converge. Meanwhile, documents leaked from an anonymous researcher described an underground facility constructed near Salem in the early 1980s, officially designated as a soil research laboratory. Coordinates matched the sealed field. Could the government have built atop the buried pyramid to study or suppress whatever lay below? Satellite imagery showed a strange rectangular building now long demolished, replaced by featureless farmland. It's as though the land itself had been reset. When a local journalist attempted to investigate property records, she found a gap in county archives between 1981 and 1984. 3 missing years erased from official memory. The deeper researchers dug into archives, the stranger the connections became. One name kept resurfacing, Project M12. The code name appeared in military engineering logs linked to geophysical containment operations. Declassified memos revealed that M12 teams were deployed to sites of potential pre-Columbian significance throughout the Midwest during the same period as Keller's discovery. The objective: stabilization and data retrieval. But from what? Was the Illinois Pyramid one of these sites? The documents end abruptly, replaced by black bars of censorship. Whatever Project M12 uncovered, it was deemed too consequential for public eyes. Perhaps not a ruin, but a revelation. Some independent archaeologists proposed a more grounded explanation. They argued that the pyramid could have been a collapsed mound complex, eroded, compacted, and later misread by radar. Their skepticism was healthy, necessary, but the anomaly's precision remained hard to dismiss. One researcher overlaid the radar grid with a map of Orion's belt and found near-perfect alignment. Coincidence, perhaps, or evidence that ancient North Americans encoded the heavens into the soil. Even the skeptics admitted, if the geometry proved intentional, it would demand rewriting the timeline of North American civilization by thousands of years. In 2011, a group of university students conducting a drone survey over the Salem region captured thermal imagery showing rectangular heat signatures beneath the surface, cold where the ground should be warm. The shapes matched the pyramid's dimensions from Keller's notes. Within weeks, the students' footage vanished from their digital archives. Their professor, Dr. Lorna Phelps, claimed their lab server had been remotely accessed and wiped. When she spoke publicly, she was reassigned. She later confided to a colleague, "Something down there doesn't want to be found," or "Someone doesn't want us finding it." Legends from the Mississippi tribes tell of the sky builders, beings who descended in light to teach humanity how to align Earth with the cosmos. They built great mounds and towers of energy before vanishing into the stars. For centuries, these are dismissed as myth. But when modern instruments detect geometries beneath Illinois soil mirroring those in Mexico and Egypt, myth begins to blur with memory. Could the sky builders have been ancestors of the same global tradition? A civilization united by mathematics and starlight? If so, America's pyramid wasn't lost. It was hidden, waiting for time to remember. By 2015, renewed interest led private investors to propose a controlled excavation. Permits were filed, funding secured, equipment staged. Yet, days before the dig, state authorities revoked all permissions citing undisclosed environmental risks. Overnight, The investors' emails were hacked, and their lead archaeologist withdrew, citing personal threats. "This isn't about science anymore," he said in a press release. "It's about control. Whatever power sought to keep the pyramid buried had reach, legal, digital, psychological." The message was clear: the past must stay underground. Despite suppression, fragments of Keller's field journal survived. Smuggled copies passed through academic circles like sacred relics. His final entry reads, "We touched the edge of something vast, something older than history." The handwriting trails off mid-sentence. For decades, no one knew what became of him. Some say he vanished in 1986 while traveling to a conference in Denver. His car was found abandoned near a rest stop, his notes missing. To believers, Keller became the first casualty of truth, a man who saw the shape of the impossible and paid the price for naming it. Today, technology allows us to peer deeper than ever before, through soil, rock, and time itself. Yet even with satellites and scanners, the Salem anomaly remains just that, an echo. Was it a pyramid, a mound, or something stranger, a monument that straddled both myth and matter? As documentaries and historians continue to chase fragments of truth, one fact endures. Something extraordinary was found in 1981, and then it vanished. The question haunting America's quiet plains isn't whether it existed, but why its memory was buried, and what it might mean if the ground remembers more than we do. In the early spring of 2017, a small team of documentary filmmakers from Chicago set out to retrace Dr. Keller's steps. Armed with modern drones, GPS mapping, and the few surviving scraps of Keller's field notes, they spent weeks mapping the farmlands of Marion County. What they found stunned them. Faint, recurring geometric shadows, square within square, triangle within triangle, visible only at sunrise. When they cross-referenced the coordinates with old survey maps, the alignment matched perfectly. The pyramid's ghost was still there, outlined not in stone, but in shadow and soil memory, like an ancient photograph burned into the earth itself. The filmmakers' footage, later released in an independent documentary titled The Shape Beneath, gained viral attention online. Viewers worldwide were captivated by the silent drone sweeps, showing the phantom geometry glowing in morning light. Yet days after its release, the film was mysteriously pulled from streaming platforms. The production company cited licensing issues, but insiders claimed the footage had been forcibly removed. A year later, the director, Naomi Finch, would describe receiving anonymous calls warning her to abandon the project. They didn't care about money or credit, she said. They just wanted it forgotten. With the disappearance of Finch's documentary, mainstream attention faded once more, but local interest only deepened. Teachers in Salem began incorporating the legend into history lessons, and students conducted small-scale soil scans as class projects. One team discovered metallic anomalies, high-density readings forming a perfect grid pattern just below the surface. When they tried to dig, their equipment mysteriously malfunctioned. Batteries drained. GPS signal scrambled. The students called it the magnetic field. Their teacher called it the defense mechanism of history. Whatever it was, it seemed determined to protect what lay buried below. The pyramid legend took a new turn when a group of amateur researchers compared the Salem region's magnetic field data to NASA's geomagnetic anomaly charts. They discovered a spike, a concentrated distortion exactly over the supposed site. The reading was consistent with the presence of ferrous material or a large conductive structure underground. Could the pyramid have been made not merely of stone, but of metal or crystal composites? If so, it might have functioned as more than a tomb, perhaps a device, a resonator, or even a transmitter. Science blurred with myth once again, and questions multiplied faster than answers. In an archived interview from 1982, a technician who worked under Dr. Keller recalled something chilling. "We heard tones," he said. "The ground itself was singing." He described frequencies so low they were felt more than heard, pulsing through the soil in rhythmic waves. Keller allegedly recorded the vibrations, calling them harmonics of design. Those tapes vanished along with the rest of his equipment, but a single handwritten note survived. The sound is geometric, structured, deliberate. If true, the pyramid wasn't silent. It was speaking, and perhaps the hum locals still hear is its faint echo across time. Historians struggled to place the Illinois pyramid within the known cultural framework of ancient America. The Mississippian culture, flourishing around 900 to 1400 CE, built monumental mounds, but no true pyramids. Yet artifacts from early mound sites suggest a continuity of knowledge, generations refining an older blueprint. Could the Salem structure belong to a civilization predating them all, lost long before Cahokia arose? If so, it would mean the story of North America's origins had been told backward, a fall from mastery, not a climb toward it. The pyramid, if real, was not a beginning, but a remnant. In 2019, digital archaeologist Jordan Miles recreated Keller's radar data in 3D simulation, using descriptions from his lost field journal. The model revealed an inner spiral corridor descending into what appeared to be a central chamber. When a model was overlaid with the pattern of the Great Pyramid of Giza, the ratios aligned within 3%. Miles called it impossible coincidence. His findings gained traction online before being abruptly labeled misinformation by official archaeology forums. His channel was demonetized, and within months, his digital archives were erased. "They don't argue with you," Miles said later. "They just delete you." For decades, skeptics had dismissed stories like this as pseudoscience. But in recent years, the tone began to shift. Advances in ground-penetrating radar, AI-based pattern recognition, and soil density mapping started revealing shapes once invisible to the naked eye. Across the Midwest, new scans uncovered complex geometries beneath mounds long thought to be simple burials. The data began to vindicate Keller's claim that something extraordinary was buried beneath Illinois soil. The scientific community now faced a dilemma: admit that ancient America was far more advanced than believed, or continue the silence that had protected the old narrative for generations. Then, in 2021, a discovery reignited everything. A private satellite company, testing thermal imaging over the Midwest, accidentally captured what appeared to be a massive square foundation beneath the Salem farmland, identical in proportion to Keller's pyramid. The company was quickly contacted by federal authorities. Within days, the imagery was scrubbed from their public database. But not before a few archive screenshots circulated online, showing a faint yet undeniable structure beneath the fields. Once again, the proof had surfaced, and once again, it was buried under red tape and silence. The Illinois pyramid had now crossed from legend into forbidden knowledge, a riddle policed by history itself. Every few years, the truth seemed to re-emerge, only to be sealed again. Yet those who had seen the data, who had walked those humming fields at dawn, could not forget. They spoke of a presence beneath the soil, ancient and waiting. Whether temple, tomb, or technology, it remains America's most haunting archaeological question. What was buried in 1981? And who decided we were not ready to know? The answer, it seems, still sleeps beneath the cornfields of Illinois. As autumn winds swept across southern Illinois in 2022, whispers of renewed investigation stirred once more. A team of independent geophysicists, funded anonymously through cryptocurrency donations, began a covert radar survey of the Salem fields. Working only at night, they used drones equipped with subsurface imaging arrays far more advanced than those Keller could have dreamed of in 1981. The data they gathered was astonishing, a clear, layered structure with a near-perfect pyramid profile. But before they could publish their results, their server was hacked, and the data encrypted beyond recovery. Days later, the lead scientist left the project, citing personal safety concerns. A single image survived, a grainy render showing a triangular geometry glowing faintly against the darkness of the subsurface map. That image spread across social media like wildfire. Historians dismissed it as manipulated. Digital analysts claimed it was authentic. Conspiracy channels lit up overnight, calling it the proof that never dies. For many, The mystery of the Illinois Pyramid was no longer about evidence. It was about pattern. Every few years, truth surfaced, only to be smothered again. It was as if an unseen hand managed history like a stage curtain, drawing it closed whenever the lights grew too bright. Local archives revealed that long before 1981, the land around Salem had been rumored sacred. Early settlers wrote of a hill that glowed by moonlight, and indigenous oral histories spoke of a buried star. These stories were dismissed as myth, but when cross-referenced with early U.S. Geological Survey maps, the glowing hill aligned exactly with Keller's 1981 coordinates. It was no coincidence. The site had always drawn attention, from ancient eyes to modern instruments. Perhaps it was not discovered in 1981 at all. Perhaps it was rediscovered, a memory reawakening after centuries of sleep. Every civilization has monuments that speak of its origins. Egypt has Giza, Mexico has Teotihuacan, Mesopotamia has Uar. But America's heartland, vast, fertile, and ancient, holds a silence that feels deliberate. Archaeologists long believed its civilizations lacked stone architecture because no quarries existed nearby. Yet what if they used a different medium, compressed earth in crystalline compounds, engineered to dissolve naturally over time? If so, America's pyramid may not have been erased. It may have been designed to return to the earth, a time capsule of dust and energy, awaiting rediscovery in an age capable of understanding it. As theories multiplied, a deeper question emerged. Who were the builders? Were they ancestors of the Mississippians, or an earlier civilization erased by flood or catastrophe? Some researchers pointed to evidence of cataclysmic changes in the Mississippi basin around 10,000 BC, ancient lake bursts, and seismic shifts. Could the pyramid predate all known North American cultures? If so, it would align with stories told by tribal elders of a time when giants of light walked the plains and taught geometry. The line between myth and archaeology blurred once more, and with it, the edges of truth began to shimmer. In late 2022, a leaked audio recording surfaced online, allegedly from a government contractor who had worked at the Salem site during the 1980s. The voice, filtered and distorted, claimed that during excavation, they uncovered metallic chambers with markings that responded to frequency. He spoke of being ordered to reseal the site under National Preservation Protocol. The clip lasted only 2 minutes before disappearing. Whether genuine or fabricated, it reignited old fears that what lay beneath Illinois soil was not merely archaeological, but technological. If true, it would mean America's oldest monument was not built, it was engineered. The mystery grew even stranger when seismic data revealed consistent low-frequency vibrations emanating from the Salem area. Some scientists attributed it to groundwater movement or fault lines, but others weren't so sure. The vibrations pulsed at regular intervals, precise, rhythmic, almost musical. When converted to audio, they formed harmonic tones similar to those recorded in ancient temples worldwide. Coincidence? Or continuity? One geologist remarked privately, "If the earth is singing, perhaps it remembers its builders." The pyramid, it seemed, was not silent after all. It was still alive, humming the forgotten song of its own creation. Curiously, nearby petroglyphs discovered along the Little Wabash River show triangular symbols surrounded by concentric rings, a motif scholars now associate with energy, vibration, or celestial descent. Indigenous elders interpret them as the stairways of sound. When cross-referenced with satellite data, these carvings align exactly with the direction of sunrise on the summer solstice. The pyramid, if real, followed the same celestial map. It was not random earthwork, it was astronomy made physical. The builders, whoever they were, encoded the stars beneath the soil, leaving a message for the distant future. Look deeper. We were here. By 2023, a new generation of scientists began challenging the taboos surrounding America's ancient past. Young archaeologists, free from institutional fear, re-examined forgotten anomalies across the Midwest. They found patterns, mounds forming grids, alignments stretching for miles, and mathematical ratios mirroring sacred architecture worldwide. The Illinois Pyramid, once dismissed as fringe myth, began to look less like an exception and more like a missing link. Each discovery whispered the same unsettling truth. The story of civilization did not radiate outward from the old world. It may have also risen, independently, from the heart of America. And yet, even as evidence mounted, something continued to resist full revelation. Land access was denied. Files vanished. Witnesses retracted statements. It was as though the mystery itself was alive, a self-preserving entity cloaked in secrecy. Journalists began calling it the vanishing truth. Still, the whispers persisted. There was once a pyramid beneath the Illinois plains, discovered in 1981, buried again by design. Whether it holds the key to a forgotten civilization or a chapter humanity is not ready to face, one thing is certain: silence, too, can be an artifact. And in Salem, that silence is deafening. By early 2024, whispers of the Illinois Pyramid had escaped the realm of legend and entered academic debate. A symposium at the University of Chicago titled Unrecorded Civilizations of the Mississippi Basin drew scholars from around the world. Most dismissed the pyramid story as myth, yet one presentation stunned the audience. Dr. Helena Cortez, a geoarchaeologist, unveiled new LiDAR data showing a large geometric depression precisely where Keller's survey was conducted in 1981. The formation's angles, 52 degrees, matched the slope of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The room fell silent. If this is natural, Cortez said, then nature has a strange taste for precision. Shortly after her presentation, Dr. Cortez's university website went offline. Her LiDAR data was removed and her digital archive wiped clean. The official reason: data corruption. But colleagues whispered that her credentials had been quietly suspended. She stopped appearing in public. One student later revealed that she'd received a cease and desist letter warning her not to misrepresent classified geological findings. The message was clear. The pyramid story had crossed an invisible line, one separating open science from guarded truth. Whatever slept beneath Illinois soil was now being protected not by mystery, but by authority. Meanwhile, amateur historians began connecting strange dots. The 1981 Illinois Radar Survey, Project M12, the missing years of county records, and Keller's disappearance. A pattern of suppression emerged that stretched across decades and states. It wasn't just about a single discovery. It was about control of America's deep past. Every culture on Earth celebrates its ancient builders. But what if the truth of this one undermined everything we think we know about history itself? What if the New World was never new at all, but the remnant of an age-old civilization buried long before Columbus ever set sail? Newspapers from the early 1800s contain accounts that now read like prophecy. Settlers describe digging up stone chambers and giant skeletons near the Mississippi River. Though modern archaeologists attribute these tales to exaggeration, their frequency is difficult to ignore. One 1823 article from the Illinois Gazette mentions a triangular temple hill that emitted light during thunderstorms. The location? Only 6 miles from the modern Salem site. These fragments of frontier folklore, once dismissed, suddenly felt like echoes of the same buried structure, a monument rediscovered every century, only to be erased again. In 2025, a private expedition led by an anonymous benefactor planned to bypass state permits altogether. Using magnetometers and deep earth imaging, the team mapped the land covertly. Their instruments detected what appeared to be a hollow cavity 180 feet below ground, rectangular, symmetrical, and surrounded by denser material. When they returned to excavate weeks later, the property had changed hands. A new owner, a shell corporation, sealed the area, citing agricultural redevelopment. The team's access was revoked, and their images vanished from cloud storage overnight. As one member put it, the ground swallowed the evidence before we could. But not all evidence is physical. In the digital age, fragments leave trails, backups, screenshots, metadata. A few of the team's images survived, circulating anonymously online. One in particular captured the world's attention. A subsurface cross-section revealing a perfect central chamber surrounded by 3 smaller rooms. A design eerily similar to pyramid blueprints from ancient Egypt and Mesoamerica. Experts tried to debunk it, but independent analysis found no signs of forgery. If the image was genuine, it meant the Illinois pyramid wasn't myth. It was archaeology's missing chapter, hidden beneath bureaucracy and fear. Religious scholars, too, took interest in the unfolding mystery. Some compared the story to ancient flood narratives, suggesting that survivors of cataclysmic events might have rebuilt civilization in North America long before recorded history. They pointed to Hopi and Cherokee oral traditions describing cities of light beneath the plains. Were these poetic allegories or encoded memories of real places now buried? In this interpretation, the pyramid was not just a monument, but a message. It was a marker of renewal, a testament that after destruction, humanity builds again. Perhaps the builders intended us to find it only when we were ready. A few brave academics began to publicly challenge the silence. One open letter signed by 42 researchers called for the declassification of all geophysical surveys conducted across Illinois between 1978 and 1984. The government's response was swift and dismissive. No records of such classification exist. Yet the researchers' requests were repeatedly denied. Journalists who pressed the issue reported receiving anonymous messages urging them to let the past rest. To some, this was evidence of nothing. To others, it was proof that the mystery was far from over, that the pyramid still stood, buried under layers of earth and deception alike. By now, the Salem Fields had become something of a pilgrimage site. Historians, skeptics, and wanderers visited, hoping to glimpse the impossible. Some swore they felt a low vibration underfoot. Others described sudden static in the air. Even without proof, the land radiated a quiet gravity, a feeling that something vast slept just below the reach of time. When drone footage captured faint luminescent streaks rippling through the crops one moonlit night, locals called it the heartbeat of the buried. Whether natural or supernatural, it reminded everyone that legends, like seeds, can never stay buried forever. And so, the Illinois pyramid endures, not in textbooks, but in whispers, maps, and flickering data files that refuse to die. It is a story buried beneath layers of skepticism and secrecy, waiting for an age that dares to remember. Perhaps one day, the soil will yield its truth. Perhaps not. But even now, across those windswept plains, the earth hums with quiet defiance. For some, it is only myth. For others, it is America's greatest secret. But for those who listen closely, the message is clear. The past isn't lost. It's merely hidden, waiting for the courage to be uncovered. By late 2025, something shifted. A whistleblower claiming to be a former contractor from the original 1981 radar survey released fragments of what he called Project Archive Delta. The documents, grainy scans of typewritten pages, contained coordinates, radar amplitude readings, and the unmistakable outline of a pyramid-shaped formation. He claimed the order to terminate the dig had come directly from Washington. Within days, his online accounts vanished. His final post read only, "They buried more than stone." The world took notice, and for the first time in decades, the Illinois mystery was no longer just a fringe tale. Television networks jumped at the chance to dramatize the story. Documentaries aired, some speculative, others sensational. Yet behind the production lights, real questions persisted. Why was there a 200-foot geometric void beneath farmland in southern Illinois? And why did no official agency want to talk about it? Every time a journalist filed a Freedom of Information request, the same answer came back: no records found. It was as if someone had erased an entire chapter of regional history. But truth, like pressure underground, builds quietly. waiting for the right fault line to break open. Among those fascinated was Dr. Marcus Redfield, an independent researcher known for uncovering suppressed Cold War archaeology. He began reconstructing the 1981 project timeline using satellite archives, agricultural maps, and old field reports. What he found was startling. Soil compaction records in the Salem area showed significant disturbance, not from farming, but from industrial equipment consistent with excavation. And yet, no permits existed for such work. Redfield theorized that the pyramid had indeed been partially uncovered in 1981, then reburied intentionally under government supervision. If true, it meant the vanishing wasn't natural but deliberate. When Redfield shared his findings in a live-streamed lecture, over 2 million viewers tuned in. His slides revealed something the world had never seen: a digital reconstruction of what the Illinois pyramid might look like if fully unearthed. It wasn't a towering monument like Giza, but a massive earthen pyramid with limestone facing, capped by a smooth platform. Beneath it, chamber networks extended outward like roots. This was not a tomb, Redfield declared. It was a center, a place of alignment, energy, and ceremony. Its builders were engineers of meaning, not just of stone. The internet exploded with debate. Historians responded with fury. Some accused Redfield of pseudoscience, others of reckless speculation. But a few privately admitted that his data matched unexplained anomalies found across the Mississippi Valley. Similar soil patterns, identical angles, even magnetic alignments that seemed too perfect to be coincidence. One geologist noted that the Salem Formation aligned precisely with Cahokia's Monk's Mound and a now-vanished earthwork near Ohio's Newer Complex. 3 points forming a triangle that spanned hundreds of miles, a geometry too deliberate for chance. If Redfield was right, America's prehistoric landscape was once a connected network of monumental design. As media attention grew, so did interference. Redfield's research center experienced power outages, his email was hacked, and his drone flights over the Salem site were blocked by new airspace restrictions labeled temporary agricultural no-fly zones. He laughed bitterly in interviews. Agriculture doesn't need classified airspace. Yet behind the frustration, a deeper realization emerged. The more resistance he met, the closer he must be to something important. For every door closed, 1,000 curious minds opened online. What once was a forgotten myth had become a movement, a digital archaeology of rebellion. Students, artists, and amateur researchers began mapping ancient sites across the Midwest using open-source data. Their maps revealed geometric alignments invisible at ground level, circles, triangles, and straight lines connecting mounds and river valleys. When the Illinois coordinates were plotted, they fit perfectly into an immense star pattern, resembling Orion's belt. The discovery went viral overnight. Either it's coincidence, one analyst tweeted, or ancient America had architects who understood the cosmos better than we do. The idea that the land itself might hold celestial blueprints reignited global fascination. Even skeptics began to wonder, who were these forgotten builders? Religious leaders took sides. Some saw the pyramid's reemergence as symbolic, the unearthing of hidden truth in a cynical age. Others warned that tampering with sacred sites invited consequences. A Cherokee elder, interviewed on public television, spoke quietly but firmly. The earth remembers. When you disturb what is meant to sleep, it responds. His words resonated deeply when storms rolled across Illinois days later, flooding the Salem Basin and temporarily exposing what appeared to be a step-like formation beneath the topsoil. For a brief moment, the lost pyramid seemed to reveal itself before the rain buried it again. The footage from that storm became the most analyzed video of the decade. Slow-motion frames appeared to show straight edges and vertical rises consistent with man-made architecture. Geologists claimed it was nothing more than erosion patterns, but the internet refused to let go. Nature doesn't draw triangles, one commenter wrote. In that simple statement, the debate crystallized: science versus curiosity, authority versus wonder. The Salem fields had transformed from farmland into the front line of a battle for truth, where evidence and belief collided under the same storm-darkened sky. As 2026 dawned, the legend had crossed continents. European and Asian archaeologists petitioned for an international excavation. The United States, citing national heritage protection, denied all requests. Yet beneath the denials, quiet negotiations began. If the pyramid truly existed, it could rewrite not just American history, but human history. Were these monuments remnants of a forgotten age? Proof of a global culture predating Egypt and Sumer? Or simply the grand illusion of coincidence and hope? For now, the Illinois fields remained silent, concealing either the world's greatest discovery or its most beautiful myth. By mid-2026, the story had transcended archaeology and entered philosophy. Scholars began asking why this monument, if real, was buried, and what it meant about humanity's relationship with memory. Was history cyclical, with civilizations rising and falling under the same sky, each burying the last? In lectures streamed worldwide, Dr. Redfield argued that the suppression of the pyramid isn't about hiding the past, it's about controlling the future. He proposed that rediscovering an American pyramid would demand rewriting global timelines, forcing institutions to admit that civilization's roots were not singular, but plural, a network, not a birthplace. In Washington, the National Historical Preservation Council held a closed-door meeting. Leaked minutes revealed a chilling agenda item: containment of unverified archaeological claims regarding pyramid structure C-81. No explanation followed. The existence of such terminology proved that federal agencies were aware of something long before public knowledge caught up. Journalists pressed for comment. None came. But on satellite images, watchers noticed something new: a series of large tents and vehicles positioned exactly where the Salem site once lay quiet. Whatever the truth was, someone had returned to Illinois, not to discover but to cover. Local residents began noticing strange activity: convoys at night, low rumbling machinery, and unmarked helicopters flying grid patterns. When questioned, authorities claimed it was environmental remediation. Yet the scent of fresh-turned earth and the sight of newly leveled ground told another story. Some claimed to see workers carrying limestone fragments into trucks, fragments that shimmered faintly under light. One farmer swore he heard humming from the soil like electricity in the dirt. Within days, new fencing surrounded the area, cutting off all public access. Whatever slept beneath Illinois was stirring again, only this time in silence. A drone operator managed to breach the restricted airspace before his signal was jammed. The brief footage he captured sent shockwaves through social media, a glimpse of a massive triangular depression, surrounded by scaffolding and floodlights. Analysts confirmed the geometry matched that of a truncated pyramid, its apex flat, its sides aligned to true north. Government spokespeople dismissed the footage as AI-generated visual misinformation. But experts in imaging verified the metadata. The video was authentic. The official silence that followed was deafening. For the first time in 45 years, the Illinois pyramid had surfaced from rumor to reality. Then came a blackout. Internet service across the Salem region went down for 12 hours. Cell towers, GPS, even shortwave radio. When communications returned, the site was gone again. The earth had been flattened, reseeded with sod, as though nothing had ever happened. Only the faint outline of disturbed soil betrayed its existence. Satellite comparisons showed that the terrain had been artificially altered, pixel by pixel. They didn't just hide it. One researcher said they erased it digitally and physically. It was the second vanishing of the Illinois pyramid, and this time, it was done with precision technology. But suppression only breeds curiosity. Digital archivists worldwide began preserving every leaked file, image, and coordinate linked to the Illinois mystery. They called it the Open Archive Project. Within weeks, thousands of people joined: scientists, coders, artists, historians. Together, they reconstructed a 3D model of the pyramid using surviving LiDAR and radar fragments. The result was breathtaking. A four-sided structure aligned to the solstices, with subterranean chambers and passages extending deep into bedrock. The collective dubbed it the American Giza. To some, it was proof of truth. To others, a symbol of defiance, history reclaimed by the people. The movement inspired a wave of independent exploration. Across the Midwest, new radar surveys uncovered geometric anomalies under mounds, fields, and river valleys. Each site revealed similarities: layers of burnt clay, traces of limestone, and magnetic alignments tied to celestial events. The scale was staggering. It seemed the ancient builders had mapped the heavens onto the land itself, encoding star patterns into the earth. If accurate, this suggested an engineering sophistication lost to time. For many, it was a revelation. For skeptics, an inconvenience. The line between archaeology and myth blurred further with each new discovery. Amid the growing tension, the Smithsonian finally issued a statement. It was brief, clinical, and dismissive. No credible evidence supports the existence of any pyramid structure in Illinois. Claims to the contrary are based on misinterpretations of natural formations. Yet, curiously, their official archives went offline for maintenance within 24 hours. To the public, the contradiction was glaring. The more they denied, the more believers multiplied. The Illinois pyramid had evolved beyond stone. It was now a mirror reflecting society's struggle between truth and control, curiosity and censorship. Every denial only added fuel to its mythic fire. Meanwhile, the Salem fields became sacred ground for seekers. Poets wrote of it as the wound that time refused to close. Filmmakers arrived to capture the emptiness, the haunting beauty of a landscape that held both presence and absence. One evening, as dusk fell, a faint glow appeared over the horizon, moving slowly across the field like a pulse of light. Cameras captured it, but the phenomenon left no trace on sensors. Scientists called it ball lightning. Locals called it something else, the pyramid breathing. The legend, once buried under bureaucracy, now lived through collective imagination. Unstoppable, uncontainable. And yet, within this swelling myth, truth still whispered. A retired surveyor came forward holding a single radar printout dated 1981. The one Keller was said to have lost. The image showed the unmistakable contour of a pyramid beneath Salem's fields, labeled Structure C, 81, confirmed geometry. If genuine, it was the smoking gun. But before he could present it publicly, the man disappeared. His home was found empty, his files gone. All that remained was a note on his desk. The past was never lost. It was locked away. With that, the pyramid's secret returned once more to shadow. In the winter of 2026, snow fell thick over southern Illinois, blanketing the Salem fields in silence. But beneath that quiet surface, the ground held secrets waiting for the thaw. Using ground-penetrating radar from a satellite array, independent researchers detected a new anomaly. Not one, but 3 geometric structures, forming a perfect alignment across 20 miles. The data confirmed what legends had whispered for centuries. The Illinois pyramid wasn't alone. It was part of a lost triad, a sacred configuration mirroring Orion's belt, designed to echo the heavens. America's forgotten pyramids were no longer myth. They were a pattern. The implications were staggering. If the 3 pyramids were contemporaneous, their construction predated Cahokia by centuries, possibly millennia. This would suggest that advanced engineering and astronomical knowledge existed in North America long before recorded civilizations. Global headlines erupted. The American Orion Complex? Lost civilization beneath the Midwest. Yet just as suddenly, major media outlets went silent. Interviews were canceled. Articles were pulled. An invisible hand seemed to sweep through the narrative, replacing revelation with static. But on forums, encrypted archives, and dark web libraries, the story continued to evolve. Unstoppable, communal, alive. Among the fragments leaked during this period was an extraordinary image, a scan of what appeared to be a stone tablet recovered in 1981 before the site's closure. The carvings resembled hybrid scripts, part Mesoamerican, part Proto-Canaanite, and yet neither. Linguists debated its authenticity, but one translation stood out: "The stars descend, and we rise to meet them." To believers, it was proof that the builders saw themselves as celestial engineers, not primitive laborers. The tablet became a symbol, a manifesto of forgotten genius. For the first time, the buried voices of ancient America seemed to speak again. As excitement grew, so did fear. Rumors spread of individuals followed, servers hacked, and research labs mysteriously destroyed by electrical fires. Whether coincidence or intimidation, it reignited memories of Keller's disappearance in 1981. One researcher summed it up: "Every generation that gets close to the truth meets the same silence." Yet the digital age made silence harder to enforce. Each deleted file resurfaced in 10 new places. Each censored video multiplied. Truth, once suppressed, had become viral, a self-replicating echo that refused to die. The Illinois Pyramid was no longer secret. It was an awakening. Documentaries once again surged to streaming platforms, this time with undeniable evidence, verified ground imaging, expert testimony, and whistleblower interviews. The visuals were haunting: subterranean corridors stretching beneath farmland, polished limestone fragments glinting like starlight, and radar profiles forming unmistakable pyramid slopes. The narration posed a chilling question: if civilization began here, who decided we shouldn't remember? Across the world, people began to reimagine history, not as a straight line of progress, but as a circle of rediscovery. Humanity, it seemed, had been here before and would be again. Meanwhile, indigenous historians stepped forward to reclaim the story. Elders from several tribes spoke of the stone mothers, ancient places of power that sang to the stars. Their oral histories matched the alignments found in the new data almost perfectly. "These are not lost cities," one elder said. "They are remembered places." His words reframed the entire narrative. The pyramid wasn't a foreign mystery or a buried empire. It was a piece of North America's own ancestral memory, woven into the landscape and spirit of its people. For the first time, archaeology and tradition began to converge. Global institutions scrambled to respond. The UN proposed an international heritage investigation. The US declined participation, calling the claims unsubstantiated. But within months, satellite monitoring over Illinois increased tenfold. Civilian drones were confiscated. Airspace was restricted again. "If there's nothing there," Redfield remarked dryly, "why guard it like Fort Knox?" Behind the irony lay truth. Secrecy is often the final confession of the powerful. The world had seen the pyramid now, even if briefly. To unsee it would take more than censorship. The seed of awareness had been planted, and it was growing fast. A decade earlier, the story might have faded again. But in 2026, with every citizen a broadcaster, the Illinois Pyramid became a digital legend, a myth remade in real time. Artists painted it, musicians composed symphonies inspired by its silence, and poets described it as a temple of forgotten futures. For a new generation, it wasn't about proving the past. It was about reclaiming wonder itself. Beneath the noise of algorithms and arguments, something profound had emerged. The idea that mystery is not a flaw in history, but its heartbeat. And then came the unthinkable. A small team of independent geologists announced that during a magnetic survey of the Salem region, their instruments recorded a pulse, a rhythmic signal, low frequency, repeating every 8 minutes, emanating from deep underground. It wasn't seismic or mechanical. It was something else, a vibration, a resonance. Some dismissed it as equipment error. Others believed it was the pyramid responding. As one researcher whispered, maybe it never vanished. Maybe it's been waiting. The story, once about stone, now touched the edge of the spiritual, where science meets the unknowable. In the months that followed, the pulse continued, faint, steady, unexplainable. Pilgrims arrived in the Salem fields, standing in silence as the earth seemed to hum beneath their feet. Journalists called it mass hysteria, but those who listened described the same sensation: warmth in the ground, a feeling of connection, like hearing the echo of an ancient song. It was as if the builders, long gone, were whispering through the soil, reminding humanity that memory is never truly lost. The pyramid might vanish from sight again, but in the minds of millions, it would stand forever, a monument to rediscovery. By early 2027, researchers from multiple disciplines began converging on the same idea: that the Illinois pyramid might not be a singular anomaly, but part of a forgotten system of energy and alignment spanning the ancient world. Seismic resonance maps revealed faint lines of connectivity between the Salem site and other mound complexes stretching into Kentucky, Ohio, and even as far south as Louisiana. The land itself was their instrument, one acoustics engineer proposed. They built harmonics into the ground, frequencies that could travel through stone. Suddenly, the idea of a living pyramid didn't sound like myth. It sounded like design. In secret laboratories and open-source servers alike, digital archaeologists worked tirelessly to reconstruct what the entire complex might have looked like. The final model, rendered in breathtaking realism, revealed an enormous tri-pyramid network, one central structure and two flanking satellites, connected by ceremonial causeways. Around it lay smaller mounds, water channels, and astronomical markers aligned to solstice sunrise. The model went viral. For millions who watched, the illusion shattered. The builders of ancient America were no longer seen as primitive. They were scientists, architects, philosophers of the earth itself, forgotten but not erased. Meanwhile, fragments of Keller's lost field notes surfaced in an antique store outside Springfield. Dated March 1981, they contained a single haunting entry: "We found it. It's hollow, and it's not empty." The rest of the pages were missing, torn cleanly as if by intention. The handwriting matched verified samples. This rediscovery reignited debate over Keller's fate. Had he truly vanished or been silenced after finding something impossible beneath Illinois soil? His words lingered like prophecy, not empty. Scholars debated whether he meant artifacts, chambers, or something alive. Whatever the answer, Keller's note turned speculation into near certainty. The Salem pyramid soon became more than an archaeological mystery. It became a global mirror. Across the world, hidden ruins, forgotten monuments, and buried geometries began to re-enter the public imagination. People began to see their own lands differently, as palimpsests of time, each layer holding another civilization's breath. For some, this was terrifying. For others, liberating. Humanity, it seemed, was not the first to reach this level of consciousness, only the latest. In that realization, history stopped being linear and became luminous, a constellation of forgotten brilliance flickering just beneath the surface of the modern world. In 2028, the UN quietly commissioned a task force under the codename Project Meridian to catalog unexplained geostructures worldwide. Though the United States declined to share data, other nations contributed willingly. Within a year, the database revealed nearly 40 unclassified sites showing identical construction ratios to the Illinois complex. They spanned continents, from South America to Europe to Asia. "The pattern is undeniable," said Dr. Cortez, who had resurfaced after years of silence. "Humanity shares a blueprint that predates recorded civilization." Her statement marked a turning point. The Illinois pyramid was no longer local legend. It was global proof. For ordinary people, the story inspired a new renaissance of curiosity. Teachers incorporated the Illinois discovery into history lessons. Students debated its implications on timelines and technology. Artists depicted it in murals, glowing beneath auroras or rising from floods. What began as a suppressed excavation had become a cultural awakening. One filmmaker described it best: "The Illinois pyramid isn't about the past, It's about remembering what we're capable of. Across disciplines, people began to see history not as a mystery to be solved, but as a conversation waiting to be continued. Then came the final twist. In a joint study between NASA and several independent observatories, researchers found subtle gravitational irregularities centered over Salem, microvariations suggesting dense metallic structures buried beneath bedrock. The readings were consistent, repeating across seasons. Whatever lay below had mass, geometry, and density inconsistent with natural rock. The discovery was quietly classified, but data leaks confirmed it. Humanity had built or inherited something beyond explanation. A civilization advanced enough to master resonance, alignment, and time itself. The Illinois Pyramid was no longer metaphor. It was artifact, and it was waiting. When the next storm season came, locals reported strange lights once more, soft, rhythmic pulses emerging from beneath the soil. Drones captured faint electromagnetic surges emanating in harmonic intervals. Scientists debated, believers prayed. Some said it was the Earth remembering its architects. Others said it was a call, a signal sent not upward but inward. Across the plains, people gathered in silence, feeling that same vibration Keller once described. The lost pyramid had returned to life in the only way it could, not by being unearthed, but by awakening within those who sought it. And so, the Illinois Pyramid became legend, not because it was seen, but because it was felt. It reminded humanity that the greatest monuments are not built from stone alone, but from the desire to remember. Beneath the Salem fields lies more than geometry. It is the echo of an older humanity, wiser perhaps, who built not to conquer the earth, but to converse with it. Every hum in the soil, every pulse of light, is a whisper from that vanished world. We are not gone. We are beneath you, watching you remember. The lost pyramid, in truth, was never lost. As dawn breaks over the Illinois plains, the mist rolls across the earth like a veil being lifted. The camera rises, revealing the faintest outline of a perfect triangle in the frost, a reminder of what sleeps beneath. The narrator's voice fades in, calm and reverent. In every buried truth lies a promise that one day the ground will give back what time has taken. And when it does, the story of who we were will no longer belong to history, but to all of us. The wind moves through the fields like breath through memory. Fade to black.